Straight ahead on 12 News, deep fried goodness.
We're trying to elevate the curd to another level here.
The Plymouth company that's taking its treat national. Plus, a conversation involving local police chiefs and the public. But first, dangers at a crosswalk made worse by less daylight. 12 News starts right now. Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us. Two students from Maple Grove High School were struck by a vehicle while crossing the street this morning in a crosswalk.
One student was treated and released, while the other was taken to the hospital with serious but non-life-threatening injuries. As Delane Cleveland reports, public safety officials say fall is an especially dangerous time for pedestrians.
We'll just go right here so we can get like the water.
With the fall colors at their peak,
That's kind of pretty.
the Maple Grove Arboretum attracts plenty of photo snapping visitors.
Got it. It's my birthday, so we thought we'd go and just, get some good pictures.
This photographer's paradise is also located alongside a well-traveled road for both pedestrians and vehicles.
It is kind of a busy road, especially with the construction on 610 going on right now. This road has gotten a lot more traffic in the past couple months, and it can be dangerous.
Two students from Maple Grove High School learned that the hard way when they were struck by a vehicle at 7:15 Monday morning while they were crossing Fernbrook at the crosswalk.
We don't have a lot of pedestrian versus car accidents in Maple Grove, but obviously any time a pedestrian gets hit by a vehicle, it's concerning to us as a police department.
Maple Grove Police Captain Keith Trelinden says it's especially concerning because the incident happened in a crosswalk where pedestrians legally have the right of way. Yet despite the laws in place, he says pedestrians shouldn't drop their guard.
If you are crossing, it's important to engage the other driver, just to visually look at them, to see that they see you before you cross, and that all traffic is coming to a stop if you're going to cross.
Trelinden wouldn't get into specifics as to how the accident occurred, but state transportation officials warn that 2016 has been deadly for pedestrians. To date, 41 pedestrians have been killed statewide. That's compared to 25 at this time last year.
Well, you really need to be alert from both ends, from the driver's perspective and the pedestrian's perspective.
1, 2.
It's advice that Shelby Kirschbaum plans to keep in mind next time she encounters someone crossing the street.
For me, as a driver, I'll always slow down and just make sure either they're staying put or crossing the street and wave them on or whatever.
In Maple Grove, Delane Cleveland, 12 News.
Officials from the Minnesota Department of Transportation say about 1/3 of pedestrian crashes happen during the weekday rush hour driving time. That's between 6 to 9 a.m. and 3 to 6 p.m. Brooklyn Park and Brooklyn Center Police Departments are teaming up to have an open dialogue with the public.
The goal is to strengthen community and police relations. Here's reporter Sonia Goins.
There was a concern both in the two Brooklyns about connecting with our citizens.
Brooklyn Park and Brooklyn Center have very diverse populations. The two top cops from those cities want to hear from residents.
So we're hoping that we just have a meeting here in Brooklyn Park and a meeting in Brooklyn Center and address all of these concerns and questions kind of all at once.
The two forums are called Community and Police Conversations and are sponsored by the Multicultural Advisory Committee.
This is the start of the conversations.
Both chiefs will be on the hot seat, answering questions from the people they serve.
I think the first step to gaining trust is knowing that there are people, whether it be the chief or the officers that are responding to calls, knowing that they're going to get an honest response from us.
Police really do want to hear from residents. Folks in Brooklyn Park can log on to the police Facebook page and submit questions ahead of Wednesday's meeting. The top 3 questions will be answered at the forum.
We could be riding in the car, we could be fully legit.
Brooklyn Center resident Jeremy Dalton had a few questions to ask police officers.
Why do they automatically target youth or middle-aged black male from their attire being dressed like this, from the way they dress or how the way they talk or present themselves?
Well, I think with this community dialogue, what we're really hoping is more of that local input and not what people are seeing nationally.
Both police chiefs say in order to change community and police relations, everyone is going to have to work together.
We can change our policies and practices to make the community happy or address their concerns, but I think as a community we need to work on the issues, not just a police issue.
Sonia Goins, 12 News.
And the first conversation takes place Wednesday at 6:30 at Park Center High School. There will be another question and answer session with police on Saturday, November 5th at Brooklyn Center High School.
The city of Robbinsdale continues to make plans for light rail. The city is in the process of acquiring the North Side Oriental Market and the land it occupies. The cost is $400,000. Robbinsdale already owns the parking lot next door, and the area would become part of a park and ride if the project is approved. Currently, there are no plans to shut down the market.
We're expecting that light rail will come through, and that between the city and the county and Metro Transit, we would need to have control of all of the property in this Robbinsdale station area. So this is just a preemptive move in that direction to make things simpler later on.
If funding falls through for light rail, the city would have the opportunity to consider future development on the site.
In Maple Grove, a developer is proposing to put up a new office building along Interstate 494. Aero Companies is planning to build a two-story office building just north of the Upshur Smith campus. If approved by the city, construction would start next month. City Council will consider the plans at its meeting tonight, Monday.
Good news for drivers who use I-494 in the Northwest Metro. The $86 million road construction project is wrapping up and should be finished sometime next month. New signs on the interstate give travelers clear directions on which way to go. Drivers going northbound on I-494 from Plymouth to Maple Grove now have easy access to eastbound I-94, 694. That is also the case for those using the westbound ramp to I-94. When completed, I-494 will have 3 lanes going both north and south. Coming up, a Plymouth company taking the cheese curd to a whole new level.
And then later in sports, highlights from the Lake Conference Cross Country Championships.
But first, it dries out Tuesday. Look for 60s and some sunshine. We'll be right back.
Well, if your workout just isn't cutting it, here's one that probably will. Lifetime Fitness in New Hope has begun offering what's called Alpha Training. It is the most intense training offered by Lifetime. It's a 6-week program that uses interval training to improve your strength, coordination, and cardiovascular endurance. Alpha also uses technology to track your heart rate and measure your progress.
We're hoping to get a lot of individuals who just love to move. Everyday movements such as push, bend, pulls, all those different things that you do day in and day out, and just bring the love back to just general health and fitness by incorporating new movements as well and kind of making them tap deep inside to find something that they probably didn't know they had there.
The Lifetime built a 7,000 square foot addition to offer Alpha Training. Anyone who wants to try it can do so free for 1 week through the end of the year. Well, if you order deep-fried cheese curds at St. Paul Saints or Minnesota Wild games, you might not realize it's a Plymouth company behind the stringy goodness.
In this week's Business Matters, Curdtown is winning over fans in Minnesota while also introducing cheese curds to audiences across the country.
We've got some seasoned and some plain curds here that we're going to fry up for you guys.
The goal is simple at the Plymouth headquarters of Curdtown.
We're trying to elevate the curd to another level here.
Sure, the Midwest knows all about the deep fried goodness.
If you look at that there, we've got some nice golden brown cheese curds.
But this small company is out to spread the word about the curd throughout the country.
We've really found a great niche in some of the areas that snowbirds go because people want their curds even in the winter.
Curdtown was started just 5 years ago by a Minnesota restaurant owner who grew up in Wisconsin and believed people shouldn't have to wait for the state fair each year to get a good cheese curd.
It's 2/3 cheese, all natural, white cheddar, and then it's covered in a really crispy, light panko breading.
Cheese from the Ellsworth Cooperative Creamery in Wisconsin is a key ingredient. Curdtown offers plain curds or occasion seasoned version.
If you look at some of our competitors, They will season the curd after the breading process, whereas we will actually season the naked curd first.
This company has momentum. The curds were sold this year at LA Dodgers games, as well as at hometown venues such as Minnesota Wild and St. Paul Saints games. And local restaurants such as Broadway Pizza and the Sample Room are finding creative ways to serve the irresistible Midwest staple.
I'm just going to give it a test here. Quality control.
As Curdtown strives to become a national name, this Plymouth business is traveling the country with an offer few can refuse.
Sampling out a cheese curd is a pretty easy thing to do.
Curdtown is on track to sell 250,000 pounds of cheese curds this year, with a goal of hitting 1 million pounds by the year 2018. You heard it here, but you may be able to hear it elsewhere and try it elsewhere in the future.
A little quality control.
Yes.
That's good.
Coming up, a run that's part exercise, part scenic wonder.
But first, it's an upset-filled round in the section soccer playoffs. John Jacobson has that and more next in sports.
Saturday turned into a day of upsets in the Section 5AA boys soccer tournament. 3 local teams topped the seedings, and all 3 came up a goal short in the end. Top seed Park Center hosting 8th seed Mounds. Scoreless into the second half till Park Center's want to hear. Scores in the penalty kick, and it's 1-0. Mustangs get a PK of their own, and Armando Jenkins Vasquez scores, tying the score at 1. And Jenkins Vasquez comes through again with a great shot from long distance here into the upper corner. That's the game winner. Mounds upsetting Park Center 2-1. 5AA second seeded team Champlin Park facing Spring Lake Park in the quarterfinals. Rebels miscue cost them. Cullen Anderson blocks a clearing attempt, goes in alone and scores, and Spring Lake Park takes the early lead. Champlin Park will get a chance. Caleb Aronson's blast, though, hits the goalpost for a near miss. Spring Lake Park's Hussein Altamimi gets a little space, and he doesn't miss. Hitting the top corner, it's 2-0. Late in the first half, Drew Collins sends it ahead, bounces over the defenders. Manuel Gonzalez puts it away with 3 seconds left in the half. That makes it 2-1. But they can't get anything past Anders Dahl in the second half. Champlin Park eliminated 2-1 by Spring Lake Park. The Prairie Seeds boys, like Park Center and Champlin Park, couldn't avoid the upset bug in Section 5AA. The third-seeded Lycans were knocked out by Centennial. In Section 5A, top seed Totino Grace shocked by 9th seed Columbia Heights 1-0. Blake knocked out Brooklyn Center 5-0. Benilde eliminates number 3 seed De La Salle, while defending section champion Breck wins 4-1 over Fridley. In the semifinals Tuesday at Breck, it's Columbia Heights versus Blake at 5, and then Benilde against Breck at 7. The winners meet Thursday at 5 at St. Louis Park. In girls soccer in Section 5AA, third seed Champlin Park visits number 2 Maple Grove in the semifinals Tuesday night, along with Coon Rapids at Centennial. The winners play Thursday night for the title. In Section 5A, Totino Grace beat Breck 5-0 on Saturday. Heritage falls 1-0 to Legacy. Maranatha West Lutheran knocked out by Blake, and Cooper falls 1-0 to Benilde. Totino Grace meets Legacy in the first semifinal at 5 o'clock Tuesday, with Blake playing Benilde in the second game. Those games are at Benilde St. Margaret's. The title game Thursday at St. Louis Park High School. The Lake Conference Cross Country Meet is one last big race before section meets. Girls were up first on a windy day at Gale Woods Farm. Wayzata senior J.C. Thompson continuing her strong season, winning the race with a time of 18 minutes, 22.78 seconds. Edina gets 5 runners in the top 10. They win the team championship. Hopkins' Elizabeth Klecker finishes 9th. Great finish of the boys' race. Hopkins' Seth Eliason running down Edina's Patrick Ruse at the wire to win in 15 minutes, 42 seconds. Wayzata's Khalid Hussein is 4th. Trojans get 5 runners in the top 10, and they win the team title. Here are the final team scores. Wayzata's boys with 33 team points. Finishing first, Edina's second, then Minnetonka's third, followed by Hopkins and Eden Prairie. Edina's girls win well ahead of runner-up Wayzata and the rest. Minnetonka third, then Eden Prairie and Hopkins. Section meets are coming up next week. Now to football, where Cooper aimed to stay undefeated heading into Wednesday night's regular season finale against Spring Lake Park. They faced Irondale in Week 7. Third quarter, the Knights pinned deep in their own territory. Cooper's Jordan Brown forces a fumble. Ivory Jones recovers in the end zone for a Hawks touchdown and a 21-0 lead. Fourth quarter, Cooper on the doorstep. Ante Burns powers in for a 1-yard touchdown. Hawks stay unbeaten with a 28-7 win. They'll get Spring Lake Park on Wednesday, and we'll have more on that game Tuesday starting at 4 here on 12 News. And let's look at sports for today.
All right, thanks a lot, John. In Local Vote 2016, we hear from all 6 candidates running for Maple Grove City Council this week.
And voters will decide who fills 2 positions on the council. Adam Bedard previously ran in 2012 and also served on a city council in northern Minnesota. And Jeffrey Drayton works as a financial planner, and this is his first try at elected office.
Hello, my name is Jeffrey Drayton, and I'm running for the Maple Grove City Council. I've been a resident of Maple Grove for a little over 16 years, and I've seen our city grow substantially, both in residential and commercial development. I wish to see our city continue to grow. However, mindful of our current residents and businesses, and with respect to the wonderful quality of life that we in Maple Grove enjoy. I'm fiscally conservative. I feel a top priority that government has on any level is fiscal responsibility and stewardship with public money. Governments don't spend their money, they spend yours. I will ensure that your dollars are being allocated with the highest level of prudence and oversight. Again, my name is Jeffrey Drayton. I'd like your vote on November 8th, and I look forward to serving you on our Maple Grove City Council.
Hi, I'm Adam Bedard, running for Maple Grove City Council. I'm a conservative individual who has former experience as a councilman in the community. I've been heavily involved as a Maple Grove Lions member, the Vice President of Maple Grove Community Organization who puts on Maple Grove Days, and the Citizens Advisory Committee who reports up to the City Council. I plan to focus on being fiscally responsible with taxes, attract businesses, and preserve our natural resources. But none of this matters if you don't have a council member who's not going to listen to you. I'm here to listen to you, value your thoughts, opinions, and ideas. Vote for me November 8th and visit my website, adambedard.maplegrove.com.
And on Tuesday and Wednesday, we will hear from 4 more candidates running for those 2 Maple Grove Council seats. Still ahead, crisp morning air, beautiful fall colors, and hundreds of runners.
I'll look back at the Autumn Woods Classic when we come back.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And they were off on a colorful Autumn Woods Classic 5 and 10K runs at Elm Creek Park Reserve on Saturday. There were more than 1,100 runners winding their way around lakes and under trees at their peak of color. 10K winner was Nate Uselding of Loretto. Brooks Grossinger of Mayer won the 5K, and a 10-year-old was the top finishing female. Kaylin Nelson of Anoka ran the 5K with a time of 21 minutes and 47 seconds. And we were told that she was really pouring on the coal going up the hill to the finish line. She was really moving.
Wow, looks like a beautiful race, too.
Yeah, and congratulations to everyone who finished and ran that race. That's it for now. Thanks for joining us, everyone.
We will see you back here again on Tuesday starting at 4.